Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasada Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmane Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Tasmai Jinmahase Namah Yadetat Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajante Yadetat Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajante. Hari So whatever discussions we will do on the way of answering these questions, whatever you had given in the morning, otherwise we won't have time to answer this. And we will go to the other portions while discussing. फिर कोई नाम नहीं दिया है. How to manage imbibing the learning, practicing of what we will do here. At times this conflicts with grihastha duties that have emotional and social obligation. You always refer to grihastha and there is a lot of work, lot of attention to be done. How big is your household? Maximum 2 to 5, 6 maximum, is it not? कभी वो भी नहीं है. इतना क्या हाउस होल्ड ड्यूटी है? हमारे आश्रम होल्ड का कितने लोग का है? Every day about 40 to 50 people take food. Every day the meetings, personal meetings have to be arranged for at least 5 to 10 people. Every day there will be so many activities going on. Not only looking after our household means ashram hold. There will be, in ashram hold there are about 8 buildings which can host about 60 people. So everywhere there will be some power breakdown, geyser breakdown, light breakdown. So many things will go on which has to be looked after. Then there will be generally some societal project continuing. Suppose now Swamiji has been making houses for the poor who do not have house. So during the COVID period it started, after the flood actually it started, Kerala flood in 2019 or so. After that it started and it is growing from that, growing bigger. So during the last year we had completed 14 houses and at that time we thought that this is all for the time being, we will have a respite. But by that time those who saw the houses and all, two ways. One is that requests started pouring in from the other villages who are really in difficulty. They don't have house, put up a jhuggi, tarpaulin and all. You know, Kerala standard is quite high compared to these areas, that their standard is high and almost many of them live beyond their means also. This problem is also there. So we cannot really compare. So when we are making the houses, they are very good houses, small houses but very good houses with all the facilities, kitchen facility, bathroom facility, a little better than what we have for ourselves. Because whenever it is made now, the contractors have all become updated. We are outdated, but they are updated. And those who take the main responsibility, they get convinced that isme to ye lagana hi hai. We don't have shower in the bathroom, we have 2 buckets. So if we say that it is enough to put the taps and a slab for keeping the buckets, they will laugh at us. They will say, "Aajkal koi nahi karenge." They need hand shower now. That we call it telephone shower also. So at least you put the shower from the top. So all these things are there. Now that is from the people, the requests are coming. On the other hand, the devotees who see the houses being made and how they are living, they start contributing more for making houses. They contribute to the ashram, asking us to make more houses like that. So the responsibility is on us. And being a trust, we always try to do whatever people want. Suppose somebody has given a contribution for educational help, we do it for helping the education of the poor children also. So when they are giving for house building, naturally we have to. So recently Swamiji had added 6 more houses, which is going on now, almost getting completed. Just before I came, 2 were almost getting completed, and 6 will be made in another month or so. So you can, and we will not make anything because it is a dana or it is a others' houses or the poor people's house will be staying there. Nothing will be less. All the concreting will be done in our presence, properly vibrator use करके properly करना पड़ेगा सब कुछ. कोई फाकीबाजी नहीं चलेगा वहाँ. So the contractor will not do. So we need some devotees to be present there who will, because we don't have time at all. So we ask some devotees to come, be there during the class, those who have the civil engineering experience or so. One Mr. Venkatramanji is there from Bombay. He will plan his coming. He stays for 2-3 months. In that period, he builds quite a lot of houses. He will build, he will go, he will run around, but the entire load will be on us. आज ये पेमेंट करना है, कल वो पेमेंट करना है, उसको ये देना है, उसको ये देना है, कुछ बिल नहीं है, ठीक नहीं है, जीएसटी नहीं है, हम नहीं कर सकते इसको. आप ठीक से बिल लाएंगे, हम पेमेंट नहीं करेंगे. So all this goes on throughout the day. It happens. Is it any different from household work? And even about food, we have people from all over the world, so to say, and all cannot take same kind of food. There will be so many options. Somebody cannot digest this, somebody cannot digest the other one. Some sort of a main menu is there, but over that there will have to be so many things. और किसी के लिए कुछ स्पेशल बनाया गया, जब सर्व कर रहे हैं सबको ही वो पूछते हैं आप कैसे सर्व करेंगे. उसका बहुत तरीका भी है, हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं, बट all these things will finally be resolved in the High Court or Supreme Court. So all these problems will come up to us that देखिए वो बनाया गया था लेकिन वो बैठने के पहले ही सारा खत्म हो गया. So how did you serve like that? Oh, okay, we will make one thing. We will make one table for those who do not take masala at all. They will be given the bland food. Like this we try, but what I am saying is that throughout the day, right from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock, our brain is full of what is to be done for the maintaining of our ashram hold. I mean the mission. I have not told many things, like so many things from Delhi, whatever will be done. Here people have always the problem that they cannot become one mind in taking a decision. So always there will be difference of opinion. And we have to give the guidance, that main, that acha ye karo, wo karo. Similarly from Jamshedpur, it will come, the supervisor or the person who looks after his, she is not doing it properly, so ye karna hai, wo karna hai, bahut kuch ho jata hai. Now Malaysia has got added. They are making many alterations and all, everything design, it comes to us and we have to approve. So throughout the day so many, then there are so many jhagras to be sorted out everywhere. The difference of opinion between people, what is right, what is wrong, because people, unless their mind is extremely clear, they will not be able to take the right decision for an ashram. Because here all the decisions being taken will depend on the impersonality and impartiality. उसमें सबसे जो प्रॉब्लम होता है कि our ego plays a role. That I suggested this but the other did not accept it. Another will say that we suggested it, we were not consulted. That also is a problem. So there are various problems mainly with lack of impartiality and impersonality, and too much of ego coming in and hindering in their own manner. So all these things we have to sort out in a very amiable, and even when somebody is behaving very wrongly, our love doesn't come away from him or her. We have to very lovingly convince the person that no, this is not the way, this is the way or so. When it becomes absolutely impossible, then it is different. For example, we had an ashram in Sainik Farm. That was our first ashram in Delhi, South Sainik Farm. Now there we stayed for about 3-4 years or so. It's all written in our great association, I have forgotten now. But finally it became against our mission to stay and conduct our program from there. It was our ashram, given to Swamiji. The land was given to Swamiji by somebody. Devotees built some houses. We also did certain things. But because of the person who was in charge was not able to go the ashram way, where the way our mission should be led. There was a lot of difference of attitude and mission also. So finally, when we had come for this kind of a program, seeing the differences, Swamiji announced that tomorrow we will go away from here. He did not go next day, but after that program we did not go back there. Then we started looking for this land. I mean, we did not look for this land, we were looking for many lands in the Gurgaon to the southern area. That was the time this was conceived of by UP Housing Board. That Vasundhara, it was only in drawing, nothing had come up. It was all gehu kheti. It was full of wheat field everywhere. There was no trees, not a single. इतना सारा वृक्ष देखते हैं, सबको ही हमने लगाया हुआ है. पहले तो नहीं था कुछ. तो when we were having our program staying in Sureka Farm, that is in Gurgaon near the airport, one day the chairman of the commissioner of this place, they had come to see Swamiji, and that day we were almost fed up. I think we completed seeing about 100 plots in that area, Sona and all. And we were fed up of it. That I told Swamiji that we cannot go like this anymore. And most probably my back problem became really serious at that time, because on one side will be Swamiji, one side will be Ma, and those days the vehicle will have that axle going through the middle. So I would always sit like this in between with the legs. And so many plots we used to see every day. Any devotee coming and telling, हाँ वहाँ देखा है, आप देख लीजिए, चलती हैं 100 किलोमीटर. वहाँ अगर दिल्ली से कोई टैक्सी में जाएंगे तो 5,000 रुपये उसी समय खर्च हो जाएगा. जाके एक पहाड़ के ऊपर चढ़ के ऊपर से बोलना, वो जो नीचे देख रहे हैं ना, एक स्कूल है हरियाणा के पहाड़ में. कहाँ है वो जो सफ़ेद देख रहे हैं ना, बच्चे लोग जा रहे हैं यहाँ से, हाँ देख रहे हैं, वो स्कूल के दीवार के पास में ही वो ज़मीन है. तो वो जाएंगे कैसे वहाँ? वहाँ तो कोई रास्ता नहीं है. नो, रास्ता बन जाएगी, उसमें क्या है. सो लाइक दैट वी यूज्ड टू सी एवरीथिंग एंड कम बैक एवरी डे. नाउ फाइनली दैट डे व्हेन वी आर कमिंग बैक सीइंग सच प्लॉट्स, दैट चेयरमैन ऑफ दिस UP आवास विकास, he said that स्वामी जी आप क्यों वहाँ जा रहे हैं ढूंढने के लिए? यूपी तो है स्पिरिचुअलिटी का हार्ट, इट्स द हार्टलैंड ऑफ स्पिरिचुअलिटी. आप यूपी में क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं, हरियाणा में जा रहे हैं? So we said, how can we come to UP? Nobody has given us any land. Here many people are saying this land is there, that land is there, we are seeing it. No, we are making a huge, very good place, Vasundhara. Your presence there will be very good it will be a contribution to the society if you can have this kind of a value-based movement from there. We will give you the land, whatever land you ask from the institution. Giving means you have to purchase, of course, but they will allot us. That is how we came here. We saw the land and everybody started crying that ये कहाँ जा रहे हैं स्वामी जी लोग, एक भी पेड़ कहीं से नहीं दिखता है, चारों तरफ खाली गेहूँ खेती है. We said that everything will happen, it has come by itself, we will come. So it was on such a decision that we finally came here. What I am saying is that always this kind of, and it is not over, then the construction started, then the wrong construction happened, then we had to redo the construction, all these things were happening all along. So can you imagine the activity involved in it? And how are we doing all this activity without any trouble? Trouble तो है, लेकिन उसके चलते हमारा spirituality का कोई कहीं भी कुछ कमी नहीं है. Because where lies the difference, you point out? Where is the difference? We are not doing for ourselves. Basic is the renunciation here. Renunciation मतलब त्याग नहीं, renunciation मतलब वैराग्य. We don't want anything. If you ask us, nothing. We don't want anything from anybody at any time, anywhere. Nothing is needed. But as something is coming and for helping people, helping society, we are going on doing. When somebody asks to go and give some lectures or take a course, we will do it. We are doing it like that only, going on. And wherever we understand the value and the depth of the mission of the spiritual knowledge, that everything may go from earth, but this will not go. And this is the bridler of the society. We call it, whatever work we do, Swamiji does, we call it Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha का अर्थ नहीं है कि सबको बुला के ले आओ और स्वामी जी का डिसाइपल बना दो, ऐसा नहीं है. Sangraha means collection, na? So simple meaning people may think that it is so. It is not so. Loka Sangraha has come from Lokanam Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma. Lokanam Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma. Unmarga means Utmarga, that is whatever is the auspicious path. People always have to deviate from that, go astray, go away from there. Why? Because all of us have, generally individuals, they have enough of vociferous tendencies, that is jealousy, competition, selfishness, self-centeredness. सब में है. हम चाहते हैं हम रिचेस्ट बनेंगे, बी चाहते हैं बी रिचेस्ट बनेंगे, सी चाहते हैं उसका कुछ और होना चाहिए. हमेशा these are all creating friction between the personalities, between the individuals, amongst the individuals. So when there is a congregation of these individuals which makes the society, naturally they will be expressed as a force of destruction, force of dissipation, force of divergence, is it not? Because each individual unit of the society, they have all these forces working in this personality. So we know very well that how the mind of an individual can get completely transformed, can become golden. And if we can change the mind of at least say 100 or 200 people in the society, the whole society will undergo a change. Because you cannot change everybody, but a few also if you change. That is why, can you imagine, this knowledge is from prehistoric times. We don't know how many thousands of years. इसमें तो कोई कार्बन डेटिंग होगा नहीं. कार्बन डेटिंग ऐसे भी ठीक नहीं है, बट कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. At least we know from the whatever up to whatever age we can think of, these were already there. It was not written, it was through mouth, it was practiced just like by person to person in every generation. So if you say 10,000, it could be, may not be. If you say 20,000, 30,000, that also it could be, it may not be. We don't know. So how a knowledge and the scriptures, particularly some literature, remain for so many thousands of years. Is it not? Is there any other example in the world? A good novel also stays only for a few hundred years maximum, if at all it is. Otherwise, within 50 years it becomes obsolete. बहुत अच्छा होने से maybe a few hundred years. How this spirituality has survived for such a long period? It is because of its eternal value. It has got its eternal value. So we know the worth of what pursuit we are doing. For that we have dedicated our life, we have left everything, we are doing only that. So, all this work, although it is maybe 100 times more than the usual household, or even more, we don't know, it doesn't affect our mind because we are not doing with any selfish aim or gaining something out of it. ये सब काम नहीं करने से भी हमें कुछ नहीं है. We could have just remained at home and written some books and studied the Shastras. We would be very happy to do that. That is what we like most. We would always like to interpret the Shastras with a lot of depth, write books on it or write articles on it, read the Shastras, chant the slokas with full emotion. उससे ज़्यादा आनंद किसमें है? लेकिन वो सब कुछ छोड़ के हम लोग दिन भर मकान बना रहे हैं और इधर दौड़ रहे हैं, इधर बैंक का काम कर रहे हैं, यही तो कर रहे हैं. How is it possible? You should think with lot of depth that हमारा दृष्टि ठीक नहीं है. We think that it is the household work which is not allowing me to become spiritual. It is not so. It is our sankirnata, our constriction of the mind that causes all the troubles for our agitation for us. You make your mind free of Raga-Dvesha. Raga-Dvesha means clinging to what I like and hating what I dislike. Your mind will become golden. You will find so much of ananda in living the life when the mind is free of Raga-Dvesha. यही नहीं, हम क्यों बोलते हैं कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी सबके लिए एसेंशियल है, इवन फॉर अ चाइल्ड व्हेन दे आर ग्रोइंग अर्लीएस्ट पॉसिबल. व्हाई? यू थिंक सिंपली फ्रॉम साइंटिफिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. व्हेन इज योर एफिशिएंसी मैक्सिमम? सी, एफिशिएंसी विल बी डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट पीपल. दैट कैपेबिलिटी इज देयर. बट फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, व्हेन विल ही बी एबल टू डू एनीथिंग मोस्ट एफिशिएंटली? कैन यू टेल मी? Mind is peaceful and there is no tension. Any stressed mind will not be able to perform in its peak. When the mind is free of stress, then it will be able to do anything to its best possible, whatever is best for him. He may not have the full capability, but he will do his best performance. Now, when will the mind become stress-free? No. Stress किससे आता है? Desires. Basically desires. But no. Desires you can say because we think that desire is necessary to become happy also. Because when the desire is getting fulfilled, we are becoming happy. But हम लोग सोचते नहीं हैं. What is happening is that desire is making your mind agitated. Desire means you want to get something which you do not have, and that is activating your mind in a way, mildly or largely agitating your mind also, and you are running after to fulfill that desire. When such a desire is fulfilled, for a while that desire will not exist in your mind. It has already been fulfilled, is it not? So the mind will have a joy until again another desire comes up and takes position. Or whatever you have gained by desire, a fear comes in that if I lose it, what will happen? Suppose it is for gaining something. After you have got it, very soon you will find the mind is overtaken by a fear. That if you are too much clinging to it, you will develop a fear of losing. Suppose you wanted to marry somebody And when you are married, you are very fulfilled. But if the attachment to that person is too much, then very soon he will develop. If he dies, what will happen? That means if I lose, nobody is bothered about the person dying. If I lose that person, that is the main point there. In Jamshedpur, Swamiji had to tackle with one lady's affair that every day, the moment it was past 6 o'clock in the evening, that lady will start vomiting. She will imagine that the husband has some accident in the factory, in Tata Tisco factory. And it was almost a daily affair. So Swamiji was called as a physician. क्या बोलते हैं जो मिडल ईस्ट में उन लोग को क्या बोलते हैं हकीम. So he, after listening, he said that what is this? Your husband will die one day. That is true. You are not accepting that. Either you will die or your husband will die. So either your husband will miss you or you will miss your husband. Now by this imagination you are killing your husband every day, is it not? Thinking that something has happened in the factory and you start vomiting and all those things. But it won't be solved so easily. Swamiji had to speak to her for quite some time to set the mind properly. Now, so what happens is that desire fulfillment, we think that the fulfillment of the desire is giving us joy. But what happens is actually by the fulfillment the desire goes. Then only we get the joy. Till another desire creates some agitation, another fear creates some agitation, we feel the joy of it. So it is not the fulfillment of the desire, but the elimination of the desire that makes the mind peaceful. And in the peaceful set of the mind, whatever joy is our birthright, that joy is always there, our soul right, our soul parameter. That much of joy we can feel. As much the mind is peaceful, so much of the atmic joy, the ananda, we can feel at that time. Till the mind again becomes agitated and it covers up. For example, we can give many examples regarding this to make it clearer. Again, morning we were talking about meditation. How is it that in the meditation we are calling that the highest kind of a joy or a bliss, we generally refer to it, that in meditation we are getting it. When we have forgotten the world, because there is no desire, no fear, nothing in that position. So the mind is absolutely peaceful. That gives an altogether different kind of a joy which we have never tasted in life, in the small joys we generally feel. How is it that in deep sleep, when you do not have any dream, when you get up you feel very comfortable and peaceful, joyful? Sleep में क्या मिला तुम्हें? Zero बन गए ना? Where our own personality was also not there. That is the greatest joy. But still again we think that the joy will come from the world. So what the scriptures say is that it is wrong to say that you will be free, you have to remove the desire. No, you don't have to remove the desire. Then in our fourfold sadhana, fourfold dharma, artha, kama, moksha, what is that called? Purushartha. Purushartha means, Purusha means, Paurusha is our willpower, our effort. By effort, whatever we can gain in life is called Purushasya Artha, Purushartha. So, dharma we have to gain by effort, that is to know where lies the dharma means actually the law of sustenance of the world, law of sustenance of universe, nature, the law of sustenance of our life, that how to live the life so that we will be able to live and survive in the best possible way. How to live the life in nature so that the nature is not disturbed. So all these are under the law of dharma. That we have to learn in the Gurukula or in was being taught generally. Now after we have learned dharma, we have to earn. Now that earning it is not separated from dharma. remaining in dharma, following the dictates of dharma, we have to earn. You cannot earn in an adharmic way, which will be detrimental to nature, detrimental to the society, or degenerative to others also, hurtful to others. You cannot do. Now, after you have earned, you have to fulfill your rightful desires. Why kama is there? If desire has to be completely abandoned, kama is one of the purusharthas in our scriptures. So don't think that our scriptures are always saying that you should not have desire, you should not have desire. It is understood, but the most of the people, 99.9999%, will have some desires which they have to fulfill, without which they will not be happy. But what our scriptures are saying, that you have to fulfill the rightful desires, that is, your fulfilling of the desire should not be hurting anybody else. Suppose chore also, the thief also has a desire. By thieving, if he fulfills his desire, then it will be harmful for others. So whatever are the rightful desires, you should fulfill. But there is a big but here, that the Shastras do not say clearly, because people will be confused. We say that never think that the fulfillment of the desire, by the fulfillment of the desire you will become happy. That is the delusion we are suffering from. We are not saying that desires should not be fulfilled. Desires have to be fulfilled, to some extent at least, rightful desires. But never be under the delusion that by fulfilling that desire you will become happy forever, that is permanently happy also. By becoming rich or richest, has anybody become the happiest in the world? By becoming most famous, has anybody? By becoming most beautiful, has anybody become happy? Nothing. So, the Shastras are cautioning that as long as the desires are there and you fulfill the desires, it will be a wave of sukha and dukkha. You have to harmonize yourself with both. They are not saying that you should not have sukha. You will have sukha, you will have dukkha, both. But you know that both are waves appearing in our self, which is our identity. So the correction is that you should not be deluded by thinking that, suppose somebody wants to marry a partner, a boy or a girl, intensely want. Now the Shastras are not saying that you should not fulfill the desire. Shastras are saying, yes, if you feel that that is going to make you happy, you marry, but don't get deluded that by marrying you will become permanently happy. It is the opposite. Nobody has to tell. So once you know that by marrying you will not become permanently happy, which everybody is generally deluded. अगर उनको मिल गया तो बस हमारा जीवन एकदम सार्थक बन गया. ऐसे ही हम लोग सोचते हैं ना. If we are out of that delusion, then actually the scope of happiness is much more. Because of this delusion, after marriage we are not becoming happy. We are start fighting after marriage, which we were not doing before marriage. Because there was a delusion. And when that delusion is not fulfilled, those are also desires. After marriage we find that there is lot of difference of opinion. She wants one thing and I want another thing, that either about friend, about cinema, about ornament, about father, mother, parents, everywhere there is difference of opinion. Is it not known, looking at the society, that all these differences will be there? Knowing that you should get married, that all these things will come, I am ready to accept all these things. I cannot expect that my husband will be always towing my line of thoughts or work or anything. There will be a lot of differences. We will do some quarreling, some arguments, everything will be there. But that will not create any division, because everybody has difference. We will make the life harmonious. But in that case, if you can really understand that this is a delusion that I am thinking, delusion agar chala gaya, if it is taken away, then you will take much better decision also. With whom, if you get married, it will be a good marriage or not. The decision will be a clear decision. Now we go against father, mother, that all are Buddhas. I am only the most intelligent person to select my fans. All those delusions will go. So what the Shastras are trying to do is to put sense in our mind, to make us sane, S-A-N-E, sane. Otherwise we are insane. We are deluded. To remove the delusion is the Shastra's point of view. Now suppose somebody says that Dharma, Artha, Kama, ho gaya. I have got enough of fulfillment, as in Mundaka Upanishad. They say very shortly that Shaunaka havai mahashalo vidhivad upasanna papracha kasminnu bhagavo vidyate sarvamidam vidyatam bhavati. It starts, Mundaka Upanishad starts like that. Mahashala means a great householder. He went to Rishi Angiras. And what is he asking? Kasminnu bhagavo vidyate sarvamidam vidyatam bhavati iti. That there is something by knowing which everything becomes known. That means our enquiry also will be fulfilled. Do you get it? By knowing which everything will become known means what? I will not have any more the thirst for enquiry, it will be fulfilled. Why he is saying like that? He did not go and ask for a new job. He did not ask for another grandchild. He did not ask for the welfare of the grandchild, that he should get married and get a good job. That means all those desires are fulfilled. He is a good householder who has lived his life, fulfilling his life. So only one desire is still left. The desire which takes away all other desires. What is that? I want to know the ultimate truth, by which the unfulfillment in the intelligence I am carrying. We call it in Sanskrit abhava bodha. Abhava means which is not there, insufficiency. We are carrying some insufficiency. So in his buddhi that insufficiency is still there, because he has not known where from we have come, what for we are living, where we have to go, and after all, is there any absolute truth or ultimate truth by knowing which I will not be interested in knowing anything else. So when the dharma, artha, kama all are done, but mind you, artha on the basis of dharma, kama on the basis of dharma, then automatically the life is outlived. All the materialistic part of the life is outlived, and only remains moksha to be attained. Moksha means I still am suffering from some bondage, some smallness. I am not able to become eternally free or feel that I am fulfilled. Lack of fulfillment is there. We say, all of you have written, I want to become a good person, but I don't know what to do. Or how can I become? I want to become absolutely loving everybody, but I am not able to. So that means there is an abhava bodha, and that is called the bondage, that we are not happy with whatever we are. Then comes the moksha, where it is told that you have to be free of desires. It is not that the children are told that you have to be free of all desires. You have to be free of unrighteous desires, wrong desires. You have to have all your desires, rightful desires, fulfilled based on the dharma, the law of dharma. That is what the Shastras say. But when you want to get rid of the bondage, then naturally you have to understand life in a much deeper sense. You have to know where from the bondage is coming. Why are we bound? Why are we not feeling free? Then comes spirituality. There comes spirituality. Before that it is all dharma. It is not spirituality. So spirituality means you try to know who am I, what is the world, and where lies the fulfillment of life. And it is very simple. At that point we are exposed that actually desires, fulfillment of desires do not make us happy. It is the elimination of the desires we become happy. So in that case, why not completely get rid of the desires right now and become happy? Then people will ask that, then how will you work? Without desire we cannot work. That means our idea, because throughout life we have been working motivated by desires, we think that there is no activity without desires. Hai na? Everywhere this question is that if he doesn't have any desire, then he will not do anything. He will sit in the cave. That is also out of desire. So, we have to understand that the desires do not allow us to work properly. There is something called desireless motivation, which is a natural, spontaneous way of acting. And where from we get that lesson? The Rishi said that the whole universe, the earth is going around the sun, the moon is going around the earth, the galaxies are moving, getting born, sometimes getting destroyed, getting into the black hole. All these things are happening. The plants are growing, the flowers are blossoming. Where do you find desire anywhere in the universe? There is no desire at all. It is all a phenomenological process. In the language of Shastras, it is a triguna activity, continued by the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, because they have some fundamental meaning. I will not deal with it now, but later. That is, the whole world is a product of the intermixing operation of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. But is not our body, mind, personality is also product of nature? It is part of the nature. So as a red flower is blossoming red, a rose is blossoming as rose, a grass flower is blossoming as a grass flower, like that each human being, depending on whatever capacities and qualities of his personality, will be blossoming like that, provided the worm of the insect of desire does not come and cripple the petals of the flower. The desire is a hindrance. It is not allowing us to blossom in my natural way. That is why Bhagavad Gita at the end, in the 18th chapter, presents something called Swabhava karma, Sahaja karma. That means when we are born with certain qualities, and those qualities will be manifesting in our life, and we should allow those qualities to function in life, to manifest in that. But because of desire, we are not allowing them. As a simple example, you can say that because there is more money in IT profession, even an artist will not take to art but go for IT. In our time, it was, particularly when we passed the college, it was all were becoming probationary officer in the banks. So, very good students who could have become brilliant scientists in our country, in my front of eyes, I found them joining the banks. At that time also I said, what is this happening? At least you join as an IAS, not as a bank, because you will have the scope for your whatever righteousness or qualities of the character, you will be able to express that. There is a need for good people in the administrative life. Why are you joining bank? It is easy to get in and enough money and all those. So this is where the natural blossoming is not allowed because of our interference. So the purpose of spirituality is to remove all these exterior interferences and make us absolutely natural, absolutely sahaja. Sahaja means natural. That is, we will do everything not out of desire. We will not do anything to get joy from doing that, but we will do everything out of joy. Because the moment the desires have gone, you will find the joy is oozing forth, joy is welling forth from within. You will always remain cheerful. This long face will become round. Always you will be happy. Whatever to be done, you will do happily. Maybe I like to do it, maybe I do not like to do it, but we will do it happily. And that will be done in the best manner also. So we should understand once for all this, we should never put up that hum grihasthi hai, hum kaise spiritual sadhana karenge. It is open to all, provided you change your mindset. That is, everything you are doing to fulfill your desires or according to your likes and dislikes, your clinging to whatever or your hatred towards somebody you are doing. It's a selfish way of doing. If we can eliminate this raga-dvesha, then whatever comes to be done from time to time, you will do. And that is the greatest lesson of Bhagavad Gita. And they have taken that war as that activity. We cannot even imagine a more involving activity than Mahabharata war, where it's not like the modern war. He had to fight with the weapons right there standing, and every time death facing him. Not only him, his son, his everybody. It's not easy. We should be able to imagine the condition. Why he was putting in such an activity? To point out that whatever activities you are complaining about in your family and office, they are nothing compared to this. If that activity could become a sadhana for Arjuna, did it not become? It became sadhana for Arjuna. Why? Because initial mindset was ahovata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yat rajya sukha lobhena hantum svajana mudyataha. That we are out to perform one of the greatest sins. Because we are going to kill our own people, my most beloved grandfather, my most respected teacher. For what? Yat rajya sukha lobhena. For enjoying the kingship and the comfort of ruling a kingdom. Everything is deluded there in that statement. That mindset completely was changed through Bhagavad Gita, that no, you are not doing it for yourself. Whether you will live also, we do not know. You may die in the war. And even if you become king, it is not going to be comfortable at all. No good king's life is comfortable. An administrator, a prime minister's life, is it comfortable life? There is no limit to the work. And what kind of work? Those days, sometimes the criminal is coming, you have to cut off his head. Right there, the king had to take the decision. Is it easy for a good person to give somebody capital punishment? So, that was the mindset, and what was prepared is that why are you fighting? Because the country is suffering under misrule. We have to establish righteous rule on earth. For that you are fighting. So it is a contribution to save the society from misrule, to establish righteous rule. In the process, if your life goes, it's a contribution to the society. Whether you become king or not is not the question. You are employing all your powers, all your learning, all your life for the benefit of the society in which you are born and you are supposed to fight. So, it was not easy. So we find that Arjuna was not able to easily fight Bhishma. Krishna had to come down that tumse hoga nahi. He took out his Sudarshana Chakra and was running towards Bhishma, that I will kill Bhishma, tumse hoga nahi Arjuna. Then Arjuna came down from the chariot and fell at his feet. No, I will do my job. So it was not easy for him. But suppose with all his love for his grandfather, he could kill his grandfather. Then with all his hatred towards Duryodhana also, he could fight Duryodhana without enmity, without hatred, because he needs to be killed. So this is what is meant by impartiality and impersonality. Whatever to be done, you will have the clarity of vision and you will go on doing that. Sometimes it may end up in many unpleasant situations also. I started with the ashram. Ashram, every other day we have to face many unpleasant situations. But we have to course through them with lot of impersonality and impartiality. Even now I have to enter into such a conversation, I am delaying it. Yesterday I should have entered into that, but I delayed it because of the busy period of I have to call up and listen to a person. I know that it is going to be very disturbing. Already half of it has come from another place. Now the other half I will have to listen to. So it is not going to be very easy. But I know that I cannot defer it also. I have to listen to it because of some other reason for the future, or for some other reason I have to. Otherwise I could have ignored also, not that I have to. So it is not the workload or what kind of work we are doing that is a hindrance to our spiritual growth. If we can develop a mindset which is impartial, impersonal, free of Raga-Dvesha, free of Sanga, then I will become just like anything in nature. Only with some additional faculty, as human beings have some additional faculty. With that we will do whatever is suited for us. And that is the freedom, that is the moksha. The Vedantic moksha is not that I will not get born again in the body and all. Those are all dharmic concepts, primary concept. Vedantic concept is Jivan Mukti. That is, there is a way of living in this world without getting bound by anything. Whatever is binding us, without getting bound by anything, we can live our life in the world. That is called Jivan Mukti. So, the other side of your question, how to manage that one with grihastha duties that have emotional and social obligation. Now, this emotional and social obligation is the other part of this question, which is very important. In detail, we have to think about it. Emotional obligations are there, but all that can be solved by loving everybody. You take it for granted. Love can win the entire world. You won't have any problem. There will be lot of emotional obligation for us, but if we can love, we can overcome all those obligations. There will no more be obligation for you. Suppose you are spiritual and you have stopped going for the marriage functions and other social functions. People think that what will the society think? But you should develop enough of confidence and courage that as long as I am loving everybody, nobody can think any adverse about it. When we were in Kharagpur, we had much more ashram life than we are having ashram life now, because at that time it was focused scriptural study, meditation, all that. Activities we had brought down to minimum. Except when parents would come and all those we have to look after. So my very close friend over there, staying a few houses in the same line, a few quarters away, he was getting married. He invited us, so we were in trouble what to say. And the wife, we do not know, she is coming new. So we met them and told them that, see, now we do not go to any house because we don't take food outside, first of all. So we cannot eat. Secondly, in a marriage function, it is no longer harmonious with our way of lifestyle and all. Nobody will be happy if they find us in a different manner. But we have all the love for you, and whatever you want us to do, as in replacement to that, we are ready to do. I can come the marriage day before the marriage, that will be better, or after the marriage we can come when there are not many social function is not there, anything. We will come lovingly, we will speak to you, we will speak to your mother and others, whoever have come. But don't force us to take food, because we don't eat outside. They lovingly accepted. While going, we found that the street dog, which was a sort of our pet also, she started following us. So we went with the dogs. When we were entering, they came, then a new bride also came. I said that, see, we will not take any food here. So we have brought a guest who is hungry and who needs some food. Will you not feed her? Oh, the wife was so good. We could never imagine. She went in and in the same kind of a plate, paper plate as she would give to the guest, all the items were beautifully placed and it was given to the dog, just offered to the dog. Poor dog got completely embarrassed by the whole thing. She has never got like such kind of an offering in a plate. So she was looking very suspiciously around and all. So we consoled her saying that take it. So it started pulling the plate from there. Pulled it, went to the hedge. After the garden, went to the hedge. Kept the plate inside the hedge and started eating sitting there. So everybody enjoyed what I am saying is that by love, nothing will go wrong as far as the social, emotional obligation. It is no more obligation. We have to win over everything by love. And certain social obligations you have to curtail because that doesn't go well with spirituality. Where your mind, throughout the day you are trying to uplift your mind. If certain ceremonial arrangement and drinking, merrymaking and also it brings down the mind, you have to avoid. If you want a spiritual unfoldment, if you are a knower, then you can go anywhere. You can drink with the drunkards also, nothing happens. You will not get deluded by that. But as long as you are a seeker, you have to restrict your lifestyle there, where he will go and where he will not go. So some places we have to see, our culture is great. All the festivals are called Utsava. Ut means which elevates our mind. You will find that we don't have any ceremony without puja. Even for a girl from pregnancy or before pregnancy also, starting from there after the childbirth to about 1 year or so, there are so many pujas involved, and all these, the mantras and everything is very meaningful. They are giving us all the knowledge, but we are heedless. We don't heed to the whatever knowledge the Shastras are giving. So, our real ceremonies, all the festivals in India, they were meant to uplift our mind, because this drudgery of daily life will always bring our inspiration down. We will become dull, we will become depressed also. To uplift our mind, inspire our mind with good things, good puja and all, and many other things will be along with that. Mela also will be there. But it should not degenerate us. Now what has happened? The Western influence, mainly because of Western influence, that what are the festivities? You drink and you roll on the ground and all, these are the festivities. That cannot be called Utsava. It is taking us down. So naturally, in restricting our lifestyle, we have to think what will uplift our mind and what will degenerate our mind. There some decisions have to be taken, and with love we have to deal with the other people, that in spite of all my love for you, I cannot participate in this because of this reason. The next question is, I am not able to fully comprehend the Shloka 18, chapter 4. Not Shloka 4, chapter 18. Shloka 18, chapter 4. He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise amongst men. He is a yogi who has performed all actions. This is that 4th chapter, 18th. Karmanya karmayah pashet akarmani cha karmayah sa buddhiman manusheshu sa yuktah kritsna karma krit. See, this is what I was saying, that just now I was explaining in another manner that the whole world is a play of the three gunas, and my body-mind personality is also a product of the same gunas, because I am part of the world. But where the trouble is coming is that consciousness which we refer to as I, that we are identifying with one body-mind personality, which I call my body, and then develop an kartri bhoktri bhava, it is called, that I am doing this, I am doing that, I am enjoying this, I am enjoying that. So we are suffering and enjoying in two ways. One, suppose you have done something wrong in the past, so I feel, I suffer a sinfulness that I have done something sinful. Is it not? Because the Kartri Bhava is that I have done it. Similarly, if you have done something great in the past, you suffer from ego, that I have done all these things, I have put up a school, I have done so much of social movement, I have rescued so many people. All these are ego. Kartri Bhava. Similarly, bhoga also, if you still want to enjoy something, I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that, that means we are having a bhoktri bhava, that means I want to enjoy. This I we are involving with the Triguna product body-mind personality. There comes the delusion. You go to the 14th chapter, the clear direction is given. Before that also it is there. 14th chapter, verse number 19. 19th verse of 14th chapter. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti mad bhavam so adhigacchati. Krishna says, mad bhavam saha adhigacchati. That means he becomes like me. Like me means, who was Krishna? He was a knower. What is the meaning of a knower? He had identified his self with the universal self, which is one and transcendental. From the body-mind personality, the identity for him was shifted to the universal transcendental self. Mad bhavam so adhigacchati means he also becomes like me, because such a person identifies himself with the consciousness, universal consciousness. Who? Yada drashta. Drashta means the seer. We are the drashta. Seer, knower, everything. That subject actually here it means. Yada drashta gunebhyah anyam kartaram na anupashyati. Yada drashta gunebhyascha anyam kartaram na anupashyati. That means when we see that there is no karta, like I am thinking, I am the karta, I am the bhokta, it is all a play of the gunas with the gunas. That is, the world is made of the three gunas. My body, mind, personality, my senses, they are also made of the three gunas. With the three gunas play going on in the form of interaction between the senses and the world. This is what is happening. I am not the karta anywhere. What we are doing is we are positing a karta behind all these functions. If it has been done by this body-mind personality, oh, I have done it. You get my point? It is we are positing that egoistic self, that I am doing this, I am doing that. When he is not seeing that, there is another great condition here. Gunebhyascha param vetti. Not only not seeing the karta behind these gunas, actually when it happens, you are able to see no karta in me, that kartri bhoktri bhava is not there. It will happen only when you see the gunebhyascha param vetti. You find out, you discover something who is beyond the gunas, transcending the gunas. When you discover something transcending the gunas, then you see that, who is that? That is the I. That is the consciousness. So that I is only a revealer of the whole world. Revealer of the whole world, which includes my body, mind, personality also. It is the revealer of the world, revealer of this body, mind, personality also. So that is not affected by any guna play also. It is not a product of the gunas. It is transcending the gunas. It is gunatita. That gunatita identity we see. So, what was your question here? The question is about 4th chapter, 18th verse. That he finds action in inaction and inaction in action. Now, when you discover that soul, that is our real identity, naturally it is transcending all changes. No change takes place in that soul, in that consciousness, in the Atma. The whole change is in the manifest universe, creation. There the causality is applicable. For the Atma, you cannot see it as an object that it will move from here to there. It is the subject. It can only be known as our own self. It cannot be known also, oh, I have seen the Atma, it is there. No. You are the person, you are the Atma who is seeing that. So if you have seen the Atma is different from you, then you have seen an object, not your Atma. It is something is wrong with your brain or something you are not saying properly. You can see your Atma only as yourself, you cannot see it as different from you at all. So that Atma is never getting involved in any of the interactions of the gunas, 3 gunas. This gunebhyasya param veti, that something transcending the gunas when he sees, the same thing he has discussed earlier also, that evam buddhe param buddha, where he is saying that indriyani paranyahu indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhehe paratastu saha. He is saying the order that in your sadhana, how are you going to apply your sadhana? This I will continue tomorrow also in a way. Those will be necessary tomorrow. He says that the indriyas are very powerful. We are always struggling with the indriyas, not being able to bridle the indriyas. So naturally to us, indriyas are tremendously powerful, the sense organs. They are pulling us here and there. So indriyani parani iti ahuhu. The rishis say that the indriyas are tremendously powerful. But indriyebhya param manaha. There is superior to the indriyas is the mind. Without the connection of the mind, the sense organs cannot do anything. Anything to do, the mind has to be with it. Suppose the eyes are there, you are sleeping, your mind is somewhere else. Something is shown, it will not register at all. The mind, the cooperation of the mind is necessary to do anything. Without the mind's cooperation, you cannot even raise your hand. You have to think that I will raise my hand and then I will raise. So, don't be depressed about the indriyas that are very powerful and we are not able to bridle. You look into your mind, the mind has got much greater power, and by bringing change in the mind, you can have a control over the indriyas. Now the minds are also already spoiled by the desires and all. So how can you bridle the mind? He says, manasastu para buddhi. The still above, higher, superior to the mind is the buddhi. That means mind is always working with the help of the buddhi. So the buddhi has to do vichara and properly guide the mind, then you can improve yourself. But the buddhi is also spoiled by the desires. A thief is not applying the buddhi, he is applying the buddhi where the buddhi is telling him how to break the bank. So it is the buddhi. So he says, no, the buddhi is corrupt, but you still have something more which is not touched by any of these desires, fear, anything. Nothing touches it. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. That is what which is transcending the buddhi, that is the truth. Evam buddhe param buddha. Knowing that which is transcending the buddhi. But buddha, that means how will you know? By your buddhi only. Because you don't have any other faculty higher than the buddhi. That soul is not a faculty for you. It is transcending the buddhi. But how will you go there? It has to be with the buddhi, but the buddhi has to undergo a change. That is the karma yoga or the buddhi yoga the Bhagavad Gita is speaking about. Evam buddhe param buddha samstabhya atmanam atmana jai shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. He is saying how to win over the kama, the desires. That take recourse to that which is even transcending the buddhi. That is what here also he is saying, that 14th chapter 19th verse. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti. You should point out, I have just now said it. That is how I went over to the second chapter. Gunebhyascha param vetti. That means when he knows something which transcends the guna, that guna interactions, what is that? That means transcends the world, that transcends the entire objectude. Only one, that is the consciousness in which the whole objectude is appearing to be. So, that is where everywhere they are pointing out. So, when you go to that level, you know that just by the body sitting idle or the mind sitting idle is not a karma. There is karma going on inside. Because as long as your identity is with the body-mind personality, you are active. Because the body is a small thing which will undergo always some activity. Even if you sit in meditation also, it will have its activity. And akarmani cha karma, that is akarmani cha karma cha. Karmani akarmayah pashyat. You are doing tremendous activity, but you don't think that I am the karta of that, I am the soul. So, karmani, all karmas, karmani akarma. There is no karma for the soul. In the soul, for the soul, there is no change at all. Where is the question of any karma? Action means there is a change. So when you identify with that Atma which is changeless, which never gets involved in any changes, any actions, any interactions, then you discover that I am not doing anything at all. That is karmani akarmayah pashyat. And akarmani cha karma means those who are saying that I am not doing anything, for them karma is still real, is it not so? They are saying I am not doing any karma. That means in his mind that karma I am doing and I am not doing any karma. Do you understand this? This is very... As long as I feel that if I sit tight I am not doing anything, and when I am moving I am doing something, the karma is real for me. The karma has not become illusory for me. We use the word aspiration and desire. So, in aspiration there is no time gap. In desire there is a time gap. Just you can say that I will open the factory and then when the production is, the producers are sold, then I will have lot of money and then I will look after all these things. You are thinking about a future which will come sometimes. It may come, may not come also. So, there is a time gap when you are thinking and you are thinking of a state. That is desire. But suppose you aspire to become good, as all of you are saying. There also desire is there. I want to become self-realized. That is a desire, because you have some concept of self-realization and you are wanting to attain that. It's a desire, there is a time gap. But if you understand properly, self-realization is not like that at all. Self-realization is walking on the path of self. That means every moment, what is self? Self is universal, infinite. So every moment as our mind is expanding, if we can expand our mind in everything, it is gaining impersonality, impartiality, unaffectedness. Actually, you are coming closer and closer to the self. So what is the ultimate point where you can reach and say that I have become self-realized? There is nothing like that. You will not bother about what is self-realization, because the path is so joyous that walking on the path, that every moment you are having the touch of purity, expansion, all those things. That every moment you are becoming the self. That is the aspiration for self-realization. By your own effort, suppose, can you ever say that I aspire to become loving, but you are fighting with everybody always. You have a desire to become loving, for a desire to love the whole world, but you are not able to. If you aspire to love the whole world, then every moment that aspiration will make you more and more loving. It may not be the whole world, but you will grow with it. So, if you practically look at it, aspiration is a force which is changing your being. It's a current force, not thinking of something at the end of that something will happen or something will not happen. So, there is a great difference between the two. What we want is the aspiration, not the desire. They will aspire to become good. Our country was the richest country even in 16th century or 17th century. Richest country in the world, having so much of wealth that these British people did not go anywhere after looting our country. They looted everything from here. Then also the country remained quite all right. What I want to say, our main point is not that. The main point is that desire is not connected to the economic growth of the country at all. Desire is not connected to any personal growth also. It is only hindrance, because desire is stressing your mind. When the mind is undergoing a desire, it will be under stress, so it will not function in its full potential. You will find, you talk to the great directors and the leaders, industrial leaders, they were not having so much of desire. They had the aspiration. You see Jamshedji Tata's lifestyle and all. I mean the whole day. How much of sacrifice, loss and loss and loss. 7 days they moved in the jungle, in the Jharkhand jungle or so, thinking that there is iron ore. They hired the best geologist from Germany. When Tata went there, he asked that, do you know my fee? He said, yes, I know, that is why I have come to you. He was the highest paid geologist in the world. And he got him, and all of them on a bail gadi, on a bullock cart with some water bottle and some can of food. They were moving in the forest after forest for so many days. I don't remember exact data. Is it out of desire, or it was an aspiration for doing something for the country? You read Jamshedji Tata's lifestyle also, even the later on also. It is not called desire. If they had desire, they would not be able to succeed so much. It is just opposite to that.
I think, sir, some great people definitely follow that path, but what about the ordinary people?
Ordinary people do not succeed because they do not become great because of desires. That's all. It's so simple. All people, those who have too much desire, you go and near them, you will find that they are only suffering from fear of losing something or the greed for gaining something, and they are miserable in their life. Even if they have enough money, they are leading a miserable life. Most of them are there. We are exposed to the whole world, different people, different there. Apparently they are very rich. You go near, you find that how is their mind. It is suffering from the meanest kind of daridra, poverty. But there should be some Gandhiji, some Netaji Subhash Bose, some Tatas and some other people who will take the country along. The country becomes great not because of the common people alone. They are the main substance of the country. But the country has to be led by the leaders of thoughts, not by the manual people, manual laborers. Leaders of thoughts have to be free in their mind, otherwise the country will never become great.
So there is no harm for the ordinary people to move up the ladder to acquire some other things, provided they are not clinging to that.
That is why just now we explained that the dharma, purusharthas are dharma, artha, kama.
Yeah.
So they are supposed to fulfill the kama, but not in an adharmic way. Now most of the people are fulfilling their kama in the adharmic way. There comes the problem. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranam.